OG to get the picks.
And the smoke. It's going to be dispelled.
Let's get dispelled. But
he's in the trees. They're on the high ground. They've got the vision with the Shiva's covered. Anna's on his way over. They've got the snowball down. There's the counterplay. Seb jumps in. He's able to fight the call onto Chalice, but Chalice already got the BKB out. The Sunstride's going to be down onto FY, but FY will survive. Seb pots the BKB. He'll try and stand his ground, but Seb, he's going to go down. No buyback on the axe. As Jerax as well, surrounded by PSG LGD. The Eon disc will proc, but they'll fight through it.
He has to buy back immediately.
Look at these creep track by these Force Spirits. On the bottom room, they have no creeps in the mid lane.
See Anna. Still holding on to that buyback on Jerax. But as Ben said, the creeps aren't here.
It's backdoor. Can they breach through it? It's not looking like it right now. Maybe everyone hitting the same one.
That creep cutting isn't enough to hold OG in the game.
You see No Tail's already running to just, he doesn't care. He's going to throw his life for this. He needs to just keep these creeps out of the base to keep that back door up. He doesn't care if he dies.
Which he certainly will as they get upon him. They find his life. 1 minute now without No Tail and without Seb. Topson, Anna, and Jerax. The only 3 heroes that can offer their defense during this final minute, this final stand.
Jerax is really trying to hold on to his buyback.
As Chalice split of course up once again. They're finishing off this second set of racks. He's got the Cyclone holding Anna up in the skies. As this rack's on the top lane will fall, the melee rack's gone. PSG LGD playing this carefully. As they'll go down towards the bottom as well. Arme, doppelgangers, he's losing a fair bit of mana into the PL. Still able to shift back into that Morphling if needs be. As OG, they will lose their top racks, but they won't lose the game. PSG LGD are playing it safe. They know how close they are to victory, and they will not throw it away.
And they know that the Roche is probably respawning pretty soon, and it actually is up, so that is that refresher shard. They already have pretty much infinite primal splits up anyway, but they feel very confident here.
They weren't able to de-ward that ward in the mid lane, so it looks like they are going for a Roche fake out.
Anna is on top of X-Nova. The Ghost Step's going to get the set. He's in. The call, the MP, the cannon, but FY is in. He's able to get the save off in time to keep this man alive. But it's not enough. Chalice is down. Buyback from X-Nova and Chalice. FY with the Invis. Somnus looking to get involved. Pots the BKB to get over the ice roll. They get on top of Seb. Seb's in trouble. Seb's gone. The axe down once again for 90 seconds. As now FY giving them the vision, but they see him. Got the doppelganger to jump away from the snowball over to Topson, the self-fuels. FY trying to buy time for the rest of LGD to come in. Again, up into the air. Arme straight on top of No Tail. FY will fall. Arme looking towards No Tail. No Tail pops the hand of God, but No Tail beaten down by Arme and Somnus. Chalice gets the primal split off as Anna. He's been left behind in Topson. He's got to do something incredible in terms of the combo. Can he find the angle? Jerax coming in, keeping Anna alive. Anna with the doppelganger. The Deafening Blast comes out onto the 2 of them. Anna trying to go in, looking for the kill. Can he find it in time onto X-Nova? He's on top of him, trying to beat him down. Anna again with the doppelganger, now retreating back towards the base. As X-Nova will survive. Jerax back in, the combo. Meatball down onto Chalice, but Chalice is so tanky. Pops the Shiva's gone. He's on top of Jerax. Jerax is gone. Anna as well. Can he really fight back against the Somnus? And X-Nova are so low. As the buyback for Jerax comes in, he's healing Anna back up. That buyback could set them up for the kill on X-Nova. The cold snap down onto the charge, and they find him. Arme, he's out of mana. He's starting to shift into the strength, but he's surrounded. OG, can they find the ball? They can! OG are still in the game. Arme buys back immediately. But now it's PSG LGD's turn to be without 2 of their supports. Seb's going to be back up in 8 seconds.
Oh my god, that buyback from Jerax onto that shrine, being able to save Anna, but Anna also toying with them with that doppel. He sent the illusion. They thought that was the real one. They actually couldn't finish him off, even though they got the thirst vision of him for a second.
With the level 25 talent on the doppelganger, it's really hard to kill him.
Seb, he's looking straight for the play. Can he find Somnus? He's hunting Somnus. He's there, Seb. He'll see him. Oh! Doesn't get the call though, and now Seb. He'll be ruptured. They're looking at him, but Anna, he's straight in on top of Somnus. Somnus puts the BKB. Anna again with the doppelganger. They see Cataclysm coming out. And Somnus still alive. Anna will be able to force him away. They've got the hex. They've got the control. They're on top of him. Can they kill him in time? They can. Chalice got for 2 minutes. And Seb, he's finding, looking for Arme. Big Daddy No Tail gets the penitence out. Only onto the illusion though. Arme able to waveform up to the high ground. Zame should be fine here.
Thompson's got the ghost, so he's got Hex
maybe
up soon too.
Oh, the doppelganger Arme's over the trees. Can he hide his way out of this?
No, back. Real one.
Goes for the waveform. Seb tries for the call, but he's already out of there. Nice, nice play from Arme.
And he buys so much time too for his team there. The Brewmaster was dead for 120 seconds, now only 90.
Still a big window for OG. They're only without Jerax for the same amount of time. And that lead that PSG LGD had, it is going down a little bit. Only 4K, 5K at the moment. With these last few fights, obviously the 25s now coming out on OG. Thompson's into the pit.
What a timely DD coming out for him too. I don't think they expected to be taken out as fast. He's almost able to solo it with the help of these summons. And that's a reflection shot. There's no way to get this. There's no way LGD can.
Oh, and the Seb level 25 too. That extra Berserker's Call AoE. It catches people out. They don't expect it.
It does not feel like OG or T-Rex now.
Yeah. The Berserker's Call now is, I mean, the AoE is
massive.
Really massive now when you have that talent.
It's so hard to play against. Can PSG LGD do it? They've got the Basher now for Somnus. For just a 2K lead with those last big comeback plays from OG.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Points away.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Grim stroke.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team.
All right, it looks like we are time to get into our first draft of the day. I am Renessa, your caster, joined by the one and only Lizard. Lizard, are you there?
The one and only. Yeah, I'm here. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I think that's actually a sad state for, you know, lizards across the but that's okay.
Hey, I make a pretty good representation. I'm gonna stand up for myself here. What did we have? We have Secret and Liquid right now as well, right? At the same time?
I think so, yeah. That's what we have going on the other stream. But Lizard, you and I have Fly to Moon versus Hellraisers.
So it's me, you, and our 100 viewers probably. Yeah, gonna be fun. Actually, yesterday, Secret and Liquid played. Secret pretty much breezed past them, right? It was 3-0.
Yeah, that is about standard for how Secret games are going right now.
Yeah, it's sad. I was looking. I mean, not sad if you're a Secret fan. If you're a Liquid fan, definitely so. Though, same happened recently in the We Play Pushka League. Secret just, you know, they don't feel like they're merely human. You know, and especially now when there's definite borders on the players, right? So you can't really face versus any of the Asian Chinese teams or NA, perhaps EG.
Yeah.
There's just reigning champions, yeah.
And a lot of the EU teams don't have their full rosters. So that's the other issue.
Yeah,
is that, you know, OG can't play with their whole team. I love how Mid One's playing with like 300 ping.
And he's still owning. That's the craziest thing. He's still owning. Like the dude is insane. He accepts to play for OG. The first game was actually on the Pushka League. He accepts to play it, and that's the only game in which Secret actually lost. Like OG just owned them that one game with Win1. Later on, it didn't work out, but who cares? He won with 300 ping. That's what kids will talk about.
Yeah, that's the part of the game that we cared about. All right, let's talk about this game. I suppose take a look at what's happening here.
Yep.
You know, maybe one of these teams will dethrone Secret eventually. We'll see.
I mean, they're looking much stronger than before. Hellraisers and Fly to Moon. Actually, the state of the CIS is crazy right now. It doesn't look like all time ago when Virtus Pro were literally the secrets of the CIS, right? And they just reign supreme, and everyone else is just kids rolling in mud. Right now, they're all pretty much strong. Hellraisers got Roger there, they got Phonic, they have some old school players and new talent. Same goes for Fly to Moon, and we'll see. So far, the drafts are definitely their standard ones. Grimstroke, Bane, Dragonite, something that you see almost in every single game. On the other side, Hellraisers, they picked the Penguin, the Oracle, perhaps not as popular currently, but definitely their own style. You'll see most likely Phonic playing that Pango, sometimes Roger, but most likely Phonic, and he's just feeding non-stop on offlane, and somehow he gets farm, somehow he gets items and makes impact. Yeah.
Yeah, coming into this series, I expected Pango to be the most contested pick because it's both teams pick it almost every single game.
Yep.
So I guess they got to fight over that one. This will be interesting. Yeah, I've seen Pango do a lot if they can set up and combo with the ultimate. Like you said, you know, feed in lane and then come out of that and just stun everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Pango for the CIS teams is still like top pick. You can see Rezo playing it a lot, as you said, Fly to Moon and Hellraisers too. The problem is the hero is not this crazy meta pick that can't be countered, right? And he's playing versus Grimstroke and Bane already. You have the Soulbind to work against, and then you have Bane's grip as well. Oracle can't save you from both of those. Maybe he'll save from one, but overall it's not going to be a very easy Pango game. However, yesterday...
They do have the Monkey King to take care of Dragon Knight though, and that long range stun is remarkably effective against Bane.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Also, not only the long range stun, right? You as Monkey really like to prey on these. Well, Bane isn't really the squishiest support, but later on in the game he definitely becomes one. And Monkey King loves to play versus your Grimstroke Banes, just hop around the trees, scout them out, kill them off. Later on, Monkey can prove to be a really big problem, and in the laning stage he's really good versus Dragonite.
So is that the mid matchup here?
It could be. Dragonite used to just get destroyed by Monkey recently Dragonite has been reworked a little bit, and because of that he can still lane, but Monkey King should win that lane no matter what. He still dominates it a little bit. The only question is, what does he do afterwards? Because Dragonite pops that form, everyone starts fighting around him, they start taking your towers. Meanwhile, Monkey King, he needs a little bit of time.
On the Morphling here, I mean, Morphling is another hero that needs a little bit of time, so maybe both teams will be content to sit back a little bit and let their cores get that little bit of farm that they need. I don't know.
Yeah, it could happen. Flight to Moon could easily put this Dragonite on off or mid lane. It doesn't really strike me as Iceberg's to-go hero. He has some other things that he would prefer over Dragonite, but it might be him. Hellraisers, they answer with Roger Classic pretty much. If you remember him, even from the TI back in the days while he was playing for Virtus Pro, he would get these Elder Titans. Now in this kind of a game, you have another super long range disable, right? You have the Elder Titan Stomp versus Bane and Grimstroke, but what's really important is that you have that natural order versus Morphling. This is one of the oldest way to counter the Morphling. Have that natural armor reduction. Morphling's pretty much all the items he builds are all about the agility, right? You don't really go for those ACs or whatever that buff up your armor stats, and Elder Titan can come in handy that way.
Are Hellraisers a little light on fast lockdown, though? I mean, a lot of their lockdown is going to take a lot of time to get into place, and I feel like Morphling can play around that pretty well.
Yeah. The phrase you're searching for is reliable disable, right? That's what we're searching for. It can take a little bit of time for Elder Titan to channel that Stomp, Pango. He needs some time to get that ball rolling. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Right now, the only instant disable, more or less, is Monkey, but even that you can dodge, right? So they could use something like that, but I guess they're just deciding to deal with the Morphling in the Elder Titan fashion. Morphling definitely isn't the old school carry. If you remember the Morphling Shaker era,
I remember that well.
If you don't have disables, if you don't have ways of stopping him, he will win the game, but he's not really as strong as that.
Oh, yeah.
He still can be very strong, but he isn't one of those hyper carries that if they reach late game, they will win for sure.
And that's our mid pick, so it's definitely Monkey into the safe lane here.
Yeah, I think they're expecting Dragonite as well to... First and foremost, Shadow Fiend also does really well versus Dragonite, right? So you're forcing this DK to be the offlane, and now even though he's offlane, he's going to be having a really rough time there because he's matching up versus Monkey King. Now Monkey King on the mid lane versus Dragonite, you can play around that. You go for early boots, you run into tower, he can't really follow you up to get those Jingu stacks. That on the offlane because he will buy Orb of Venom and he'll just follow you. So for now, Flight to Moon, they have to answer this. And alright, they decide to still put the Dragonite on the mid lane. Okay, I can respect this because he would just suffer too hard versus the Monkey King. So DK mid, General Enigma on the offlane. It's alright. There's, I believe, yeah, there's actually nothing that goes through Enigma BKB Black Hole, so that can be very useful later on too.
Can the Rolling Thunder stun him out of it?
If you have BKB, it can't, right? Like
right.
With the BKB, it can't, so he should be super fine.
Seems like both teams are going to want to delay quite a bit. They're going to have to wait to get a Morphling and an Enigma BKB online. You have to wait to get the Monkey King online. Do you think Hellraisers can play a little bit faster, though? I feel like they
have to.
Sooner.
They have to. I think it's not only can they have to, because later on in the game, Morphling and Enigma should have a freebie, right? Like later on, these two heroes are not countered. Okay, Morphling is a little bit by the Titan, but Enigma, I see it as this big win condition. Once you get that BKB and Blink plus the Black Hole, you can't be stopped as long as you cast those Black Holes properly. So it's on Hellraisers to play the tempo.
I guess the only thing is Monkey King could get an Abyssal, but can you get close enough with Abyssal? Or is the cast range too short? I've never actually tried that against an Enigma.
I'm pretty sure you can if you go from a different angle, right? If you don't go from an angle from which the black hole is coming, you can do it. If you go from that angle, you probably can't. So that's how he has to play around it. If he does get that Abyssal. It's not the most common item for a Monkey King to buy, but in a game such as this one, I think it's alright. It's one of the ways that you have to itemize, yeah.
Considering the lack of reliable lockdown.
Yeah. Usually, when we're talking about Pango, what we want to see is these heroes that set up, right? You want to see these first initiators. You want to see your Earth Spirit or whatever, your Shaker, something that starts things going so that Pango can create the mess afterwards. When Pango is forced to initiate and be your first reliable disable, something's not right.
So who are we expecting to initiate then? Are we looking at the monkey? Or are we looking at maybe Elder Titan Stomp? I mean, that's a little bit hard to use as a setup.
Maybe the Xani can go for a Yule's build as well. That's a possible option for them too. We'll see, really. Like, they just have to find a way. An Abyssal that you mentioned before is actually a pretty solid idea. When you don't have heroes that do something, you can kind of itemize in a more unconventional way to help you with that. So.
Alright, so we'll have to see. It looks like they are all posturing to fight up top, maybe.
30 seconds to battle.
Very interesting goal chat.
You might have to translate for me. I'm not sure I can follow that one.
Me pirati. It basically means we're pirates.
Okay.
That's all. He's singing a song from I don't even know. Is it Jack Sparrow or something? I have no clue.
Alright, so the Oracle's going to initiate here at top with the Elder Titan Spirit out. It looks like no one's actually going to commit to a fight.
Yep, they're gonna take one on top lane, but Pango stole one from the Morphlings, so Hellraisers 3 bounties. Pretty good start for them.
And now everybody to their lanes. Okay, so matchups is Grimstroke Enigma into Oracle and Monkey, who as a courier keeps confusing me, but he's cute, so it's okay.
Yeah, this lane is kind of weird. You have Grimstroke to push in the lane with the Stroke of Fate, while General wants to keep it back at all times. We'll see how it will go.
And there goes all of the Eidolons. So that's a nice little farm here for Nyx at the start.
Did he actually feed them? Oh yeah,
he fed all three of them.
Yeah. Yeah, 5-0 for Nyx. Interesting, because usually with Enigma you eat the demonic conversion very early on and they disappear by the time you get to the lane. He might have made a mistake and just fed them too early. Yep, yeah, Monkey killing them.
Getting the second round too. He's gonna have to change up how he plays this. Either, do you just run back further in the lane and get them sooner?
I mean, all he had to do is just get them out, right? Make them and get them out. Instead, he tried to deny with them, and because of that, they just died. Monkey King looks melee, but he certainly isn't.
No, does he have longer attack range than TA starting out?
Yeah,
I feel like he does.
He definitely does. He's crazy. Yeah, he just has to play around that somehow. But so far, he has denied a couple of creeps. He has 4 denies. He's got some experience under the tower, but Nyx has done a really good job when it comes to getting all the CSs that were left remaining in the lane.
Yeah. Now over in the mid lane, Iceberg's doing pretty well here. Kasani is only sitting, he's up to 3 souls now, so he's getting there.
Yep. I actually saw a build on SF. Some players would even get the soul ring on a lane such as this one when you have to constantly spam. Wouldn't be surprised if he does that or just rushes the bottle, that's fine too. From level 3 and onwards, SF should have a slight advantage. Early on, Dragon Knight, obviously, because of the Dragon Blood and his melee, he doesn't suffer whatsoever. But yeah, we'll see a bit later on how it will go.
In bottom lane, they are going here on Always Wanna Fly. He's trying to run himself himself out. The brain sap to heal a little bit, and a nice nightmare. And now they're just switching the nightmares over. Okay, so always want to fly gets to run away. Like you said, not as squishy as some other supports.
Top lane, Nyx, getting really low too. That should be our first blood. Yeah.
There we go. All right, General redeemed himself after feeding so many Eidolons.
There's still 20 CS on the Monkey King. Yeah, he has to be careful. He did get that first blood, but he shouldn't feed any more Eidolons. That adds up. Suddenly this monkey is going to come online way too earlier, able to deal with him. One thing that I'm actually curious about is Roger and the way he's playing this Elder Titan. Keep in mind that he has a Shadow Wind on his team, so he should be stacking and making those big stacks, not only for the Astral Spirit, but also for the SF to farm them later. He's been doing none of that. He's just kind of, you know, battling it out with Bane on the bottom lane.
Have we really seen a lot of stacking anyways, though? In general, in games, I feel like stacking has just decreased a lot.
Yes and no. If you have someone like an SF plus Elder Titan, I really think you have to stack still. It's just the nature of the heroes and how they benefit from it. Some teams like Liquid, they just stack always, no matter what game it is, they just stack. But mostly you're right. Most teams prefer not to stack any longer.
It's one of those things I've noticed where some players almost never tread swap, even though it's really efficient and useful. You still don't see that at the pro level. And that's sort of how I feel with... Yes! I remember, and I don't know, I remember sitting with Charlie back, like MLG 2015 old days, and him just sitting there and raging at his team for never tread swapping. And so now I watch that so closely, and I just don't see it very much.
But that's 5 years ago. That's
well, no, but I still watch, and I don't see as much tread swapping.
Yeah.
Now, granted, when I'm watching on Twitch, it's harder to follow along with the, you know, the anti-mage players specifically.
Yeah. I mean,
are going on Aloha. I don't know if he'll make this. He has the heal to help him out, but Roger punches really hard.
Yeah, that's one stack that he had there, giving him not a lot of damage, plus 40, 37, he gets that kill with it. But I think maybe you're just not looking as closely on some players that do it. Most of them should be doing that. If someone isn't thread swapping, I don't know. I don't think they should be on a pro level. It's just, it's not a thing anymore. You know, in 2015, yeah, the game was still kind of fresh, I guess. Not really, but national level, right? Not every single little thing mattered. Right now, you can't get away with not doing something as simple as that.
Looks like Roger maybe wants to be annoying here mid lane. Flydamoon has 3 heroes here. Kasani might be in some trouble with Always Want to Fly running in the slow out from Aloha Dance. Can Iceberg find him in the trees? Roger, he's here to help. He has the stomp, but he's getting nightmared. This should be a death onto Kasani. Funnick has ported in here to maybe turn around and get a kill on Iceberg. The slow from Grimstroke holding them back. And the nice tanky Dragon Knight salving under tower gets to live here.
I don't know, but speaking of 2015, Roger from 2015 wouldn't have made a mistake such as this one. We talked about stacking, and he wasn't stacking the whole game, but now, when the Dragon form is up, he starts doing it. And because of those stacks, he doesn't have the Astral Spirit to set up the counterplay on the initiation that they made on SF, right? And instead of counterplaying that, he needs to run into them to use the Echo Stomp. He doesn't have a Spirit, and because of that, SF dies, he gets slapped. He's gonna stack again, but these small little things, really, they all add up and they matter. They lose you or win you the games, and so far they haven't been successful for Hellraisers.
Kasani will be able to get a nice catch up here, though, get all his souls back from that death, and get a lovely broom handle. That is exactly the jungle item he was looking for.
12 damage, pretty good. Can clean the house as well afterwards.
Well, I have a feeling Monkey is going to want to pick that up.
Yeah.
Because then he can be even more of a ranged hero.
Yeah, does he qualify any longer as a melee hero?
With a broom handle? I certainly hope not.
Yeah, that's just stupid. He's throwing those staffs afterwards. Another Dragon form mid, and you can see these two supports pretty much. You have to play like this. If the Dragon form is up, you have to play around it. You know that Hellraisers will try to stop that push. Panic.
He always on a fly looks, yeah, he will go down. So they get a nice revenge kill, but this tower is pretty much dead here. The stun to prevent the deny, but of course the fortify will hold it, and I think that Hellraisers should get this tower deny.
Yeah. They get the deny, but they still lose the tower 8 minutes in, and that opens up the map for Iceberg. Now what we'll see is probably this Dragon flying from the mid lane towards top to continue pressuring the tier 1, which will leave the Monkey King kinda in a bad spot in which he has to decide to fight or to go back somewhere else and farm up. Most likely from Hellraisers, we should see a rotation towards the tier 1 on the bottom lane in the next couple of minutes. The only question is, will they try to defend their own tier 1 on top, or just trade it for the bottom one?
Right now, we are getting some pings and movement here. Always want to fly chasing down Roger through the river, but I don't think he's going to pursue that. And how is General? So General has a Necro book up. No boots.
Yeah, it's your new standard build on not every offlane, but most of them, and General might even fall here. Let's see. He does have a black hole, remember.
And nothing to cancel it since Monkey's right on top of him. Excellent rotation here from Aloha Dance. Kasani as well. Coming into turn. So never mind. Aloha Dance cannot save his Enigma. Poshka might fall. Funnick here to help out. No, Oracle gets away with a little bit of health. That Rolling Thunder kind of keeping everyone back. It looks like all they'll trade here. Getting the Enigma kill is great, but honestly, getting the Enigma black hole.
Yep, this early on, it's huge. It's huge, especially now when the bounties are about to spawn. I think Aloha can do this. Oh, what?
That was wishful thinking from Aloha.
But that black hole was really good. I liked it. They just didn't rotate fast enough. The Enigma, alright, but you needed that Morphling to TP a little bit earlier. And that's also the problem with these two supports that you've got. They were super under-leveled. Aloha Dance was only level 3. Now with the Tome, he's level 5. Something really went poorly for these two supports, in the laning stage at least.
I think they spent a lot of time middle. Helping out their Dragon Knight. I mean, they got the tower early, but they sacrificed their levels for that 8-minute tower.
That's definitely true. And now they're stuck pretty much on the side lanes. Bane on the bottom lane. We'll see Grimstroke perhaps on the mid lane from now on. They need levels. They just need those level 6. They can't fight before that.
And there's a smoke here from Hellraisers. Maybe looking to go on Iceberg middle, but he's backed off. So this might just be a warding mission from Maposhka, since his teammates have decided not to follow him.
Yep, the lane was pushing in on the mid lane. If it's pushing in, you can't really smoke. It's way too obvious. So they just let Oracle go on his own at that warding mission. Roger snatching some stacks.
Yeah, he's just being annoying. You know he can't do anything here. Wonder if General's coming over maybe to harass him. Do they have enough firepower to take down Roger?
They used all their stuns. Now he just needs to... There we go. Oh,
okay, nice dodge from Iceberg. So they will have firepower to take him down.
Damn.
And
Roger is rusty, man. Like, he had ways of getting away from that. He really did. And he also saw Enigma as he was creeping up behind him. If he just ran north instantly, I think he was fine. He could have even just stomped him first instead. Interesting. We'll see later on how this Elder Titan will work out. Right now, it's not. And he needs natural order. He needs it fast. He didn't skill that aura at all.
Has he... I personally haven't seen a lot of Elder Titan, but I also haven't been watching a lot of CIS. So has he been picking it, or is this a rusty pick for him too? That was just good against the Morphling.
It's definitely not the most common position for, but it is something that he knows how to play, right? It is one of his heroes. Top lane grip.
Yeah, we've got two sides of the fight over here. Oh my gosh, and I've lost control of my mouse. My apologies, but that's okay. I think Miposhka will fall to juking through the trees, but always want to fly running right into him. Are they trying to give Iceberg the kill? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just holding out to give him the kill, I guess.
But he was juking them. Roger.
Radiant's middle tower is
He looks like he's about to fall too.
Yeah, he does get the sleep on two heroes. Aloha Dance still hitting away at him, but with Vtune, oh, that was a nice GG branch used there to keep juking.
Yep.
But eventually will fall to Aloha Dance.
Yeah, he tips him as well. He's created some space. Then again, they did lose the tier 1 on the top lane. They traded it like we thought they would. Nyx on the bottom lane taking down the Radiant tier 1. So you can see the Hellraisers, they're not exactly ready to fight, or at least they haven't been. Right now, I believe that's an Echo... Yeah, so they have an Echo Saber, and this is a power spike for Monkey. They can perhaps find a pick-off or two.
I think General might be in some trouble. Just have to see if they find him. Yeah, and there he is. They spot him out. He does have the black hole back up, but absolutely no chance of turning. He falls so quickly to that monkey.
You don't have any teammates around you, so there is no way to use that black hole. He's just gone. Interesting build coming from Morphling as well. He went Yasha, and he actually did queue up AC. Remember when we were talking about Elder Titan, how Morphling isn't really the hero that buys any of these items. He queues it up. I'm not sure if he'll go through with it, but AC is a decent way of answering this Elder Titan pick. It's not the best item, definitely not one of your top 10 items that you want on Morphling, but you have to adapt to the game. Something that we might see from Monkey King as well and his Abyssal versus this Enigma later on.
You also have to remember the minus aura, minus armor aura from Shadow Fiend. So if you pick up an AC on the side of Flight of Moon, that helps a lot, especially with keeping your supports alive.
Bounty.
Yeah, that's a fair point too. So what do we have? Dragonite with the Blink Dagger. He has the form as well.
Yeah, and Enigma's getting close to Blink, sitting on about 1,600 gold.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they probably don't want to fight until that happens. Dragonite also has been queuing up the BKB. He's very close to it too. So once you get that BKB on Dragonite and Blink on Enigma, you're pretty much set as Flight to Moon. Hellraisers, meanwhile, they need to press the tempo and make stuff happen on the map. Once those items are up on Flight to Moon, it's going to be extremely difficult to fight them.
And it looks like the supports have started to catch up, so Flight of Moon's supports are both sitting at level 7, and the same on Hellraisers. So at least that side of things has evened out a little bit.
Yeah, you have these two supports. On one side you have the Grimstroke, on the other you have the Elder Titan. These position 4s should always have farm, right? It's one of those heroes that just naturally have the ability to easily creep destroy waves. You have the Stroke of Fate, you have the Echo Stomp. You should be able to easily catch up.
Grimstroke's doing a little bit better at that than the Elder Titan, but I think Roger has had a few deaths that weren't ideal. You know, sometimes you die, you make some space, it's okay. Maybe you got a lot of farm for it because you've been pushing out a lane, but I think he died in a few places where he wasn't trading it for farm.
Yeah, he's just he pushes it to the limit. That's what he's known for. Even when he was playing with me, he was always the kind of a player that's going to either make this really good play or make you feed. Bottom lane Nyx. There is Oracle behind him, so he is baiting, remember. Okay, that grip was completely wasted.
Okay, I need to lower my in-game sound here, but I want to wait until this fight is over, so my apologies for the fairly loud fight. but I think that my sound settings got reset. So Lizard, you're gonna take the audio only cast while people get to see my audio settings.
Yeah, you can see that the audio right here, the bar is on 150%. We're gonna lower it a little bit. Meanwhile, Hellraisers are taking down a tier 1 on the mid lane. They know there's no grip. Everything was pretty much wasted from Flight to Moon, so they turned that into an objective.
Okay. Alright, so tower taken by Flight to Moon while we were in the audio settings. Hopefully no kills were missed.
No, nothing really. That's pretty much it. Only Bane that died on the bottom lane after the failed grip. That's not something that you should try for. If you don't have vision on Miposhka, there is no way you're gripping anyone. You have to understand that every core that's on the map that's farming the lane, you should kinda expect Oracle being behind him. So if you do try and make a play, you really need to scout behind that Monkey King. You need to know that he's not close to a tower as well. So that was a little bit of a bad play from Always Wanna Fly. Oh, General bottom lane. He does the same mistake.
Yeah, and there's no one to even back him up anyways. Could he have gotten that kill solo?
If there's no Miposhka there, he gets him for sure. That's a kill. He has Necros, Eidolons, Midnight Pulse, and Black Hole. There's definitely enough damage. Black Hole has been buffed up a little bit. It has more damage earlier, but I mean, like I said before, they're just falling into the same trap twice in a row. You don't see Oracle, you can't go for these kills. It's just some basic elements of Dota that they're not following.
Shadowfiend might have this BKB. Yeah, Shadowfiend BKB is complete. There's no black hole, and he has to use it immediately here in V2, but he's getting gripped up. Iceberg trying to take down. Now the stun comes out from Roger to cancel the grip from Bane. Ultimate from the Elder Titan as well. So far all that's been lost is Shadowfiend. Roger left behind by his team. Miposhka trying to save him, but a blink forward from Iceberg. Just about to die here, yet Miposhka gonna finish him off, and Roger looks like he will fall as well. So a nice fight so far from Fly to Moon, taking down 2 kills, just losing the Bane. They might get Funnick. And yep, Funnick tries to jump away, will not quite make it. Depends on how deep Iceberg wants to go.
He wants to go deep, yeah, he's gonna get him as well, it seems like.
Nope, it forces the buyback from Funnick. And alright, well, that's a nice kill for the Monkey King.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Going high ground there to get that Oracle kill, that's so not worth it, but...
It was diving a tier 2, diving a tier 3, that was... Yeah, that was a little much.
He was very bloodthirsty, but I was saying they're defying the basic elements of Dota, blah blah blah. They're going on the Monkey King because there's an Oracle, but maybe they had it planned. They forced Oracle to use the False Promise, and instantly after that's used, there's no save for the Soulbind, no save for the Bane's Grip, and they make a really good fight. With that Dragonite dying, I'm not so sure the fight was all too great for them, but it was good at the beginning at least.
And they did get Funnick's buyback, so that certainly delays the Vlads for the Pango for a little bit longer.
Yeah, overall it's worth it for them, for sure. They also got the Dragonite in the end, so it's a good play for them. The first BKB is also popped from SF, so... And
from the Morphling. They both popped there. And here they come in for the fight. The Monkey King is out. Morphling falling pretty quickly here. Gets to keep morphing. The Roche drops to the Radiant, but the Aegis goes over to the Monkey King. Iceberg forced to BKB as he runs away. Now Roger and Pango linked for a little bit. The Monkey King is jumping in here, trying to finish off Iceberg. His BKB wears out with the Spirit Vessel charge onto him. They've already lost Morphling. They've already lost Bane. 3 fall here from Fly to Moon. Hellraisers, they're not done yet. Monkey King jumping forward, going here onto a Aloha Dance, rooted in place from Miposhka into the base, and that is a dive for Hellraisers that works out. That's how you dive a tier 3.
Yeah, man, I was building up these teams like they're the next Virtus Pro or something, but they're not playing without any mistakes, let's put it that way. Both of these teams are looking very wonky. In the leagues before and in the CIS tournaments that they have played in the last couple of weeks, they looked much stronger. I don't know what's happened to them. Is there some holiday? Are they drinking? Let me no?
It's
Ukraine and Russia.
Sunday morning, afternoon.
Yeah.
Alright, stun out here onto Bane. I think Always Wanna Fly will die. Yeah, pick off here for Hellraisers. They are taking over Flatamoon's map. They're saying, nope, you have to stay in your base. This is ours now.
I don't know just why Morphling pops that BKB and goes into the pit so early on. They had ways of scouting Rosh, right? You have Stroke of Fate, it gives you vision if it connects. So you could scout it a couple of times, then go in at the last second. He goes in and he pretty much wastes 9 seconds BKB actually. So they kill him off first.
Full morph to strength, right? Yeah. Just to stay alive. So he's not doing any damage whatsoever. Exactly,
and on top of that, there's also the natural order. It still hurts, and he opted back to go to Scud instead of the AC. I'm not saying this is... I don't think this is a better item. It is definitely a better item for Morphling. Is it a better item for him in this particular game? I don't think so, but he just doesn't feel confident enough to go for the AC. That's pretty much the storyline here. He had the AC queued, he wanted that, he knows it's the right item, but he also knows that it's very unconventional, and they're kinda losing at the moment, so he goes for the most common pick.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And the lost my train of thought here because I thought a kill was about to happen. Oh,
don't play it. There's a kill.
Yeah, that's what we're watching. Monkey King going in here on the Grimstroke. There will be no outpost stealing. And the black hole here used in the jungle. Kasani is going to BKB and use his ultimate to cancel that black hole. Now the Oracle ult saving Funnick, and he is rolling thunder. They want to go for more. Always Want to Fly stun. The Bane will fall. Funnick kills a little bit as the Oracle ult ends. And Nyx is here with the ultimate to push everyone back. Iceberg forced to BKB and run away, and Funnick continues to chase. No BKB on the Morphling, that's already been used. The Spirit Vessel onto Iceberg, so he falls very quickly. That is 4 dead on the side of Flatamoon, and Hellraisers loses nothing.
And they start with a black hole and a grip. Like, they waste their 2 biggest cooldowns. And they see Oracle there. They still like, alright, this guy, he forgot how to press his buttons. He's not gonna use his ult. I'm not sure what their train of thought is behind, because I don't flame teams usually, right? Like, never. I try to be nice about it, but this just isn't how the game is played, and they know it. I'm not sure what's happening here. If you see an Oracle, you're not gonna grip the target that's next to the Oracle. At least you're going to try to sleep the Oracle first and then use that grip. That's just some, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't see the Oracle there or something.
It's the long play.
Yeah,
you have the first game where you make these beginner mistakes. You lull them into a sense of comfort. You know, like, you know, Flatamoon's like, you know, Hellraisers, you're smarter, you're better than us. Pick something clowny. Don't take this seriously, and then they just steamroll them the next 2 games. It's the long play.
Yeah, they did that yesterday. They won versus them yesterday, so maybe that is the play. Yeah, we'll see.
And Iceberg rooted here top. He will get stunned by Nyx, and yeah, all of Hellraisers is here. Iceberg is pretty much alone. He throws out the stun. You know, meanwhile, Pango went. Yeah, so Flatamoon does disengage. Iceberg ran out one side, and
Always Want to Fly. Yeah, Bane was running the other. Yep, he survives as well. The casualty of war is his courier, but that's pretty much all. So they're good. Grip wasn't used, Black Hole was still on cooldown, so if you're a Flatamoon, you're happy with the way that went.
Escaping. Do you care about couriers that much anymore? It used to feel so much shame if I got the courier killed, because then my cores couldn't get anything. Yeah, but now it's kind of like, yeah, it's just mine.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it is, right? Peer pressure. You don't care about losing gold. You don't care about not being able to get your own items. You care about some sneaky little kid flaming you for losing that courier. That's what we all care about.
Hey, team morale is important. If you tilt a teammate, Even if it's not really your fault, if your teammate tilts, you're more likely to lose.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
Dota's all about not tilting your teammates.
in pubs, 100%. Like, you're going to win most of your games as long as you don't tilt anyone. That's 100% true. But courier definitely was more important previously, right? Like when you had one courier, let's say you don't have a smoke on the inventory, you actually have to wait for that courier, then it dies, you can't even get that smoke. It was way more harder to play back then, if it's that.
So, it looks like HR are looking to take another fight. They're all sitting high ground, hoping that Fly to Moon runs up these hills to farm their offlane jungle.
Yeah, it was that Aegis effect as well, right? It did go away, but as long as HR had it, you couldn't really fight on Fly to Moon, and you were also waiting for Morphling to kind of stack up.
And Monkey will be going for that Abyssal Blade, so he's got the Basher and full Abyssal queued up.
Yeah, that's definitely the play for him.
And Roger TPing back to deal with the Iceberg push. Also Funnick, so if Fly to Moon was ready to smoke out and grab someone, that could have been a fun little play. Have you noticed V-Tune and Always Wanna Fly standing here for like the past 30 seconds or longer?
Yeah, they're just hunting on the Arcane Rune, right? There's the Arcane Rune there, they're expecting someone to come pick it up. If someone does come, they can grip and blow him up with Adaptive Strike, but I guess they're giving up on that.
And Iceberg still pushing. Nyx does have the stun that he throws out, but a BKB TP from Iceberg. So Fly to Moon is getting fancy here.
Funnick.
Yeah, and there's Grip onto Funnick. Roger not there in time to cancel. That's a gem lost as well. Looks like they won't pick it up though. V-Tune just BKB TPs. And Always Wanna Fly will be the collateral damage.
Also, I think I was wrong then. I was talking about that rune, which is also, that also might have been the play, right? You have to play around that rune, but the main intention was, let's stand in between the enemy and the Dragonite that's pushing, right? And if they run through us, we'll be able to catch one off and kill him. Because not everyone is going to TP top. Black Hole.
Yeah, there's Black Hole here onto the BKB Kasani, and Enigma's BKB doesn't really do much there against Kasani's right click. That's how much armor? Enigma's only sitting on 6 armor. So I don't think that's enough to hold out against the butterfly. And what is his minus armor aura? Yeah, 7. So down into the negatives there on Enigma. And another fight here on to Iceberg. Nyx probably able to take him down really quickly. The Roger throws out the sleep, and Iceberg will fall as well. So another fight across the map with Fly to Moon kind of fractured, and another black hole that doesn't turn into anything.
Well, none of them turned into anything, right? So far, they didn't have a single good black hole, a single good grip. Maybe that one on Funnick is what forced him to buy back, but that's pretty much it. Like, they need to use these big spells better, especially when you know that these big spells right now have no counter. But they alone, the Enigma is all alone trying to kill off an SF. It's not going to work that way.
He does have the Quickening Charm, so he has slightly less time to wait until his next solo black hole without any backup.
Yep, 12 cooldown reduction on the talent tree, then the 13% on the Quickening Charm as well. Yep, I mean overall it's a fairly low cooldown for a black hole. Yeah, 137 seconds, 0.808.
Yeah, very exact. Roche will fall here for Hellraisers. So they put that Aegis over onto Kasani, and a cheese for Nyx on the Monkey King.
Yeah, at this point you don't even have to disable the Enigma. You can just kill her off with SF. He hurts hard, like, he hits hard. This Butterfly plus the SNY.
Ultimate here from Iceberg. SF on the front lines already very low, so Kasani going to pop that ages quickly. They have the black hole here in 5 seconds, so Enigma is waiting on the backside. Iceberg aggressively forward. Kasani gripped here, but of course Purge. Now the black hole jump in does catch Kasani and Funnick here, holding them in place. The Oracle ult keeping Kasani alive, and Nyx BKB wants to this Enigma. The Rogers Leaf holding him in place. That Spirit Vessel, real problem for the Morphling, who's already used his BKB. He does not have another one. He does have a buyback, but no buyback on Iceberg or on the Enigma. Grimstroke to fall as well. Hellraisers is just murdering everyone. And there's the GG.
Yeah, that's the game. That black hole in the end did look kinda neat, but it was a little bit too late. So many have failed before. The Hellraisers, they got all the items that they needed. The SF was just a beast. That last movement from him did look a little bit wonky, right? He just ran uphill and fed.
FY, he's found himself No-Tail out on his own.
He's trapped him.
There's No-Tail. Is he going to get any sort of backup? No, there's 3 still dead on OG. It'll be a slow and painful death here for No-Tail as Zame comes in for the kill secure.
And I love the way that Chalice popped his BKB super early in that fight. He just knows, I just need to get my ulti off, and he cast it at a very safe range. He didn't wait for the last second of his BKB. He's not very greedy. I think that's a lot of the reason why they've been winning these team fights. Seb has been struggling, still about 1,000 gold away from his BKB.
Yeah, this Brewmaster is a display of perfection, really. It's the highest level in the game with his Bloodseekers.
And doing a ton of damage in the fight. It's one of the most damage in the game as an offlaner.
Now has full Shiva, so even more ways. He's pretty much itemized entirely just to be like, Ana, I'm ruining your game. I've got Radiance, I've got Shivas. You're going to struggle so much in these fights as Phantom Lancer.
Jerax did his best to keep Ana alive, and but Ana wasn't able to do damage because he was ruptured. He wasn't that low on HP, but still can't run around.
Seb.
Oh, I'm as confused here.
Got to be careful
Jerax.
who shows up top. Indeed, Jerax. He's going out on his own. He doesn't expect Zame to have this invis rune. As Zame will show himself. Jerax goes across, but Somnus is there.
Somnus is not messing around rupturing.
No mercy. They're feeling very confident now at this point, getting these very advantageous team fights as well as getting kills on the split push too. Thompson though, we'll find X-Nova.
Seb, and as well. Between the two of them, they'll take down the support edge. FY's going to come in though. He hasn't got anyone else with him at the moment. It is just FY, so just playing around with Seb.
There's no help around at all, and he's still just making Seb's life miserable.
He's toying with him. He's just making him not be able to come back. Look, they're already starting to rotate this Brewmaster and Bloodseeker too, and FY, he's ready to look for Seb.
Seb's
Seb.
As indeed FY, the patience keeping that control on Seb, buying time for Chalice to come in. Ana is going to look towards the Tusk. Chalice is now there, does have Primal Split available if he wants to look to take this fight. Somnus coming in as well. As Ana, Seb look to hide in the trees. Can they get out of it? Ana's got a TP available. He's into the trees. He's going to show himself in the lane though. They're going to continue to head over. They are going to see Seb make it out in time. They don't have a stun. Ana, can he get out as well? He can. OG will avoid that rotation from PSG LGD.
FY is just so obnoxious there, following Seb for over a minute, just stalking him, trying to have his team come over.
So that's about, a minute without Aegis being used for LGD. They have 2 minutes left, I would say, to capitalize on this Aegis. Oh man, looks like he is leveling the PL.
Pretty much back to a 50-50. PSG LGD 2-1 up at the moment in this best of 5 grand finals. 1 game needed to secure the championship title. And at this point, they are ahead here in game 4.
No-Tail hasn't had time to gather a full army of Ancient Crates. Right now, he just has the Ancient Black Dragon. You really want those other auras when you're at a big disadvantage in these team fights already.
Yeah, it's tough though, because Jerax doesn't want to be following around his Chen, giving him the agony. So. As Thompson, he does have a Lincoln Sphere picked up, and they should have the BKB finished on Seb too. So that'll give him a little bit easier time to get those Blink Claws as he's been suffering to do so in the last few fights. And Somnus, full I've Scotty picked up, about to be level 25 as well.
Yeah, they just need a couple more minutes on the side of OG before they're ready to fight. Wait for the age to expire.
Seb, he's in. Gets the call. The character's going to get FY. There with the snowball save. He's going to be fine, and now they turn to look towards the axe. The taunt's going to be out. Seb goes for the TP. They've got the stun to cancel them. Seb held back for now. Thompson trying to offer his best from the side to provide some sort of safety, as he will get Seb back. They're able to get Seb back to safety, and Thompson, he's running away. X-Nova's there with the wraparound, gets the slow off, gives the vision for the snowball. TP from No-Tails coming in towards the stride, but Thompson, he's trapped.
That's twice in this series that X-Nova just comes out of nowhere. Like, he's just on a warding expedition, then he just ends up wrapping behind these people constantly.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing, and has the senton creep to boot. And look at these deep wards that he's placed during that time that he was running around doing so. He now has full vision of OG. Yeah, he sees Ana farming these Ancients right now.
Oh, Ana. FY just giving so much information for the team. He's got eyes on him. Get the punch on the wrong target, but the snowball pass will catch Ana. Ana, he's in trouble. The blood bright silence connects. He's got the man to back up in a second, but can he really play his way out of this one? He cannot. Ana down for a minute and a half.
Just having all this vision. I mean, X-Nova throughout this whole tournament has had the best vision in every situation, even when you wouldn't expect it. They're just like, oh, they're fighting on the left side. They're not going to have vision over here. But no, X-Nova always seems to have those prepared in every situation.
And he has some incredible foresight to be able to have these wards that just lead to really clutch pickoffs. And Axe has not spent his money on BKB. He has the money, but he might be looking to save for buyback.
We'll see if any of the buybacks do get forced out. Thompson's still dead for 15. Ideally, he doesn't buy back it. They may have to buy back on Ana. He's gone for 50 seconds. The split coming out from Chalice. He's ready to push in, look for the stun on No-Tail to hold back the Chen as the mid-racks are exposed. PSG LGD, 40 minutes in, able to open into the base and clean out this mid lane of racks. Still Ana holding on to that buyback.
And they're going to keep going here. They really want to force this PL to come back here.
Stun onto Thompson. He will blink dodge it. But another tier 3 tower falling incredibly fast. They really don't want to use it. Seb jumps in, gets the call onto FY. There's the buyback. The Cataclysm isn't enough to do anything. It isn't. PSG LGD still fighting strong. Thompson getting focused by Somnus. Seb taken down by Arme. The triple buyback's now out as Ana in trouble. He's pulled back for this one. The deafening blast onto the three of them knocks them back. But Ana gets focused. Seb! He's in with the call. He has the control onto the morphing Somnus. Now being chased by Thompson. Blinks in with the cold snap. The PLR is on top of it. They get Somnus too. As OG, they have to expend 3 buybacks, but they hold on to the top rack. Somnus now down for 2 minutes. No buyback available on this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he's 400 gold short of it. It's up in about 8 seconds. OG, they have to make so much happen here. They have to push out all their lanes. 2 of the side lanes are already going, but I think trying to get some kills here, like on FY here, would be very ideal.
I mean, look how close to Brew is at 25.
So close.
With that primal split cooldown.
Oh, Thompson, he sees it FY. He's used the snowball, he turns with the combo FY with the self-fuels, but OG, they've surrounded him. Seb jumps in with the call, the blade mail, FY's gone.
Instant buyback from FY.
Still that scary, scary time for LGD. 75 seconds without Somnus. OG have the full 5-man pushing in all 3 lanes at the same time as they approach LGD's base.
I don't even know if I give a heads up for this team fight. The LGD are been gold, but no blood take up to 60 seconds. This could be disastrous.
He's got a full BKB on Seb as well.
Chalice really wants to hit level 25 before he pops that primal split. So close.
Just got to be careful, Seb. Looking for that blink initiation.
Chalice is stepping back. Grabs, they give him the tome. He needed like 5 experience, and they gave him the tome just to make sure that he gets it anyway. Just playing as safe as possible here.
Looks like OG don't feel that the window is big enough for them to push in whilst this Bloodseeker's still dead. They'll back away.
They can't count. They bought back 3 heroes. They weren't able to get any T3s, and there's no Roshan up yet. Big Daddy No-Tail's praying for a Roche right now so they can get that refresher, but it's not going to be up. And maybe we'll dodge a bullet.
At least they got a good amount of economy off that, right? It was up to a 15k gold advantage, and they chunked it down to 7, same thing with experience. So they did get quite a lot out of that one, but they ideally wanted to get at least one of those sets of racks to get some momentum pushing in with those 3 buybacks used.
Absolutely, it is this really scary moment of the game now for OG. We're about 5-6 minutes still without those buybacks available. If PSG LGD can find that one team fight, it could be the team fight to win TI. in this window of time that they now have presented to themselves.
Ana's gone full in for that butterfly too. As they pick up also an Aeon disc on Jeremy, so protected in DD did spawn, however, was killed.
It's also pretty scary for Maybe right now. He only has a 5-second BKB, and he does a lot of damage and will get wrecked by the X-Blade Mail Call if he finds him, especially with his BKB now. There's not that many ways to stop him.
So it's all about FY and Chalice, right? Just either saving or just getting into the midst of the fights and not allowing OG to get the picks.
And the smoke, it's going to be dispelled.
Let's get dispelled.
Ana is in the trees. They're on the high ground. They've got the vision with the Shivas covered. Ana's on his way over. They've got the snowball down. There's the counterplay. Seb jumps in. He's able to find the call onto Chalice, but Chalice already got the BKB out. The Sunstride's going to be down onto FY, but FY will survive. Seb pots the BKB. He'll try and stand his ground, but Seb, he's going to go down. No buyback on the axe. As Jerax as well, surrounded by PSG LGD. The Eon disc will proc, but they'll fight through it.
He has to buy back immediately.
Look at these creep track by these Force Spirits. On the bottom rune, they have no creeps in the mid lane.
See Ana. Still holding on to that buyback on Jerax. But as Ben said, the creeps aren't here.
It's backdoor. And they breached through it. It's not looking like it right now. Maybe everyone hitting the same one.
That creep cutting isn't enough to hold OG in the game.
You see No Tails already running to just, he doesn't care. He's going to throw his life for this. He needs to just keep these creeps out of the base to keep that back door up. He doesn't care if he dies.
Which he certainly will. As they get upon him, they find his life. 1 minute now without No Tail and without Seb. Topson, Ana, and Jerax. The only 3 heroes that can offer their defense during this final minute, this final stand.
Jerax is really trying to hold on to his buyback.
As Chalice split of course up once again. They're finishing off this second set of racks. He's got the Cyclone holding Ana up in the skies. As this racks on the top lane will fall, the melee rack's gone. PSG LGD playing this carefully. As they'll go down towards the bottom as well. Arme, doppelgangers. He's losing a fair bit of mana into the PL. Still able to shift back into that Morphling if needs be. As OG, they will lose their top racks, but they won't lose the game. PSG LGD are playing it safe. They know how close they are to victory, and they will not throw it away.
And they know that the Roche is probably respawning pretty soon, and it actually is up, so that is that refresher shard. They already have pretty much infinite primal splits up anyway, but they feel very confident here.
They weren't able to de-ward that ward in the mid lane, so it looks like they are going for a Roche fake out.
Check. Ana is on top of X-Nova. The Ghost Step's going to be there. Set. He's in. The call. The EMP. The cannonball. And FY is in. He's able to get the save off in time to keep this man alive. But he's got it off. Chalice is down. Buyback from X-Nova and Chalice. FY with the Invis. Somnus looking to get involved. Pots the BKB to get over the ice roll. They get on top of Seb. Seb's in trouble. Seb's gone. The axe down once again for 90 seconds. As now FY giving them the vision, but they see him. They've got the doppelganger to jump away from the snowball over to Topson, the self-fuels. FY trying to buy time for the rest of LGD to come in. Again, up into the air. Arme straight on top of No Tail. FY will fall. Arme looking towards No Tail. No Tail pops the hand of God, but No Tail beat it down by Arme and Somnus. Chalice gets the primal split off as Ana. He's been left behind in Topson. He's got to do something incredible in terms of the combo. Can he find the angle? Jerax coming in, keeping Ana alive. Ana with the doppelganger. The Deafening Blast comes out onto the 2 of them. Ana trying to go in, looking for the kill. Can he find it in time onto X-Nova? He's on top of him, trying to beat him down. Ana again with the doppelganger, now retreating back towards the base. As X-Nova will survive. Jerax back in, the combo, re-ball down onto Chalice, but Chalice is so tanky. Pops the Shiva's gone. He's on top of Jerax. Jerax is gone. Ana as well. Can he really fight back against the Somnus? And X-Nova is so low. As the buyback for Jerax comes in, he's healing Ana back up. That buyback could set them up for the kill on X-Nova. The cold snap down onto the Charger. They find him. He's out of mana. He's starting to shift into the strength, but he's surrounded. OG, can they find the ball? They can! OG are still in the game. Arme buys back immediately. But now it's PSG LGD's turn to be without 2 of their supports. Seb's going to be back up in 8 seconds.
Oh my god, that buyback from Jerax onto that shrine, being able to save Ana, but Ana also toying with them with that doppel. He sent the illusion. They thought that was the real one. They actually couldn't finish him off, even though they got the thirst vision of him for a second.
With the level 25 talent on the doppelganger, it's really hard to kill him.
Seb.
Yeah.
He's looking straight for the play. Can he find Somnus? He's hunting. Somnus, he's there, Seb. He'll see him. Oh! Doesn't get the call though, and now Seb. He'll be ruptured. They're looking at him, but Anna, he's straight in on top of Somnus. Somnus puts the BKB. Anna again with the double kill. There's a Cataclysm coming out. And Somnus still alive. Anna will be able to force him away. They've got the head. They've got the control. They're on top of him. Can they kill him in time? They can. Chalice got for 2 minutes. And Seb, he's finding, looking for Ame. Big Daddy No-Tail gets the penitence out. Only onto the illusion though. Ame able to waveform up to the high ground. Zame should be fine here.
Thompson's got the ghost right. He's got Hex
maybe
up soon too.
Oh, the doppelganger Ame's over the trees. Can he hide his way out of this?
No, back, real one.
Goes for the waveform. Seb tries for the call, but he's already out of there. Nice play from Ame.
And he buys so much time too for his team there. The Brewmaster was dead for 120 seconds, now only 90.
Still a big window for OG. They're only without Jerax for the same amount of time. And that lead that PSG LGD had, it is going down a little bit. Only 4K, 5K at the moment with these last few fights. Obviously the 25s now coming out on OG. Thompson's into the pit.
What a timely DD coming out for him too. I don't think they expected to be taken out as fast. He's almost able to solo it with the help of these summons. And that's a refreshing shot. There's no way to get this. There's no way LGD can...
Oh, and the Seb level 25 too. That extra Berserker's Call AoE. It catches people out. They don't expect it.
It does not feel like OG T-Rex now. At all.
The Berserker's Call now is, I mean, the AoE is
massive.
really massive now when you have that talent.
It's so hard to play against. Can PSG LGD do it? They've got the Basher now for Somnus.
Radiant team
But just a
back.
2K lead with those last big comeback plays from OG. Still 30 seconds without Chalice.
Double Hex coming out now.
Dire
Thompson
team
and these
back.
5 second
Radiant
BKBs.
team
Yeah, I mean, they
back.
were
Dire
crushing
team
with them.
back.
He's
Radiant
spotted out, got the
team
vision.
back.
They're on top of him. Thompson, he's in trouble. The Nullify comes out, but he got the Ghost Walk off as well as the Hex in time. Now, Somnus turns up, the blood runs down. Thompson! He's dead for
Radiant
100.
team back.
Has got the buyback available. PSG LGD will certainly look to force it out of them.
FY just what a shadow
smash.
blade. It just, as soon as they split up, he finds the perfect opportunity there on Thompson.
You got to be careful going out on the map when FY's alive. There's every chance in the world that he's going to be watching you from the trees.
And at this point, I
10
think
seconds
for Ame,
remaining.
it's actually going to be very worth it for him to actually just try and burn all the mana
5
from the
seconds
Phantomizer, so he
remaining.
can't doppelganger all the time.
Versus Fly to Moon. Welcome back, Lizard. Are you ready? After that last game that we saw, do you think that Fly to Moon are ready to go here?
I hope they are. That first game for both of these teams was something that I like to call a warm-up game. You know, you have your first game of the day, not everything is really clicking. Your fingers are...
10 seconds
We're all
remaining.
old, you know, these professional Dota players, this game is old and we're
5
getting there, you
seconds
know, like
remaining.
we have these, I don't even know what they called, you know, when your wrists hurt on your hands, the knuckles, everything.
The arthritis?
Damn, I hope not.
Well, you're
That's
talking
way
about
too
how
much.
everyone's old. I mean, arthritis is where I'm gonna go with that.
I hope I hope not, but in 20-30 years we can talk about that. Right now, yeah, I guess a small cases of that, you know. And when we actually warm up, when the fingers are working once again, we can see some quality Dota coming from Hellraisers and Fly to Moon. We'll see. They snatch out their Pango once again. Now the thing is, in that last game, you let them have the Pango and you counter it with, and you still lose. Counter it with 3.
Or maybe you ignore the Pango and don't use your big ultimates when they can be instantly cancelled.
Yeah. There were some curious plays coming from Fly to Moon that last match.
Dire
We'll see
team
how they adapt in the second one. I honestly don't think their draft was weaker at all. I think they had a solid chance, solid draft to win, but their playstyle was all looked like a team that, you know, when you're playing a pub and everyone is self.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally how it felt. how many black holes from Enigma were followed up by anyone? General was on his own island, just doing his own thing the whole game.
Yeah, he really only had that very first black hole where everyone moved a little late. Does this look familiar to you? Did we accidentally hit a replay?
Well, maybe we'll see a Dragonite coming out.
Monkey King.
Monkey King,
Elder
Dragonite.
Titan.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, actually, I have seen almost the same exact drafts picked up by two teams in the same series. You know, some teams, they just believe in their stuff and let them have it. And I really think Flight to Moon draft isn't bad. It's just the way they execute that last game was bad, and that's it.
It was that one iceberg dive, honestly, because that opened up, well, it was two. It was the Dragon Knight diving past a tier 3 while a tier 2 was up. And because they got that kill, Hellraisers could go and take Roche, and
the thing
when they didn't work out well for the Morphling.
Yeah, Morphling died there. The Hellraisers, they ban out the Dragonite, they want something else coming from Flight to Moon. On Hellraisers, they're making it watch something else. But
we could have sounded so smart for anyone who didn't watch the first game. Could have picked the exact draft, and Hellraisers have to ruin that for us.
I mean, right now in the meta, I actually had a game recently casting. The panel called 8 out of 8 first picks. Like, it was and Kyle there.
5 seconds.
Wait, Kyle wasn't wrong?
He wasn't wrong once. And we had like 8 out of 8 picks, and it's much because you know what these teams are going to, at least tier 1 teams, because you see how the meta is progressing, you see what the heroes are the strongest, and you see what they will realistically most likely pick. There can be some curveballs, but when it comes to Hellraisers and Flight to Moon, it is a little bit different because you really can't tell. They play a different level, and on a different level anything can work. Here, like, it's still banned out. Like something like Nature's Prophet isn't banned out still. Crazy. Alright. Actually, I like this Beastmaster with the. They have a cooldown that's not as long as the Black Hole. Have a clear combo. Soulbind. The laning is. But Hellraisers, they're the ones that crazy here. They have the Oracle, but they pick the Chen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those are usually
5 seconds
5s.
remaining.
But what's happening here is Oracle will most likely be out of that lane. Chen will stay on the safe lane as a position 4 played most likely by Roger. His main goal there is to take the boars away from Beast, just dominate them. And then Beastmaster can't play around that. But we'll see, maybe they'll put Oracle there as well, because Oracle is also pretty solid. He can purge the inks. There are some things that are good for... But most likely it will be Chen versus...
Do you think we'll see a Void Spirit out of Hellraisers?
They don't really have any damage in
10 seconds remaining.
Honor, right? But
No, Void Spirit.
Void Spirit, sorry, yeah. It's banned out.
Oh, is it? Did we miss that one? Oh, there it is. Okay, it was early on. I was like, that'd be a great pick for Hellraisers right now.
You bait me to look stupid, and then you look stupid yourself with the bait. Like, good play.
Just, want to bring us all down to the same level. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Void Spirit would be pretty solid, but this is something that Nyx plays quite a lot. Actually, Xani, both of them play Leshrac. Both of these players are pretty solid Lesh players, so you're very flexible, and you get a hero that, well, questionably good versus Phantom Land. Now the thing is...
It really depends. Like, late game, Phantom Lancer is really too tanky. I don't think the Lesh can burst him later on. But then again, you have Chen Oracle. Are you really looking at the late game? Like, are we going to see a 5th pick, something that can push, and they're just going to look for the steamroll play?
They could also go for the superior late game carry, right? They could do something like that, so they have the win condition no matter what. We'll see. They definitely have these four heroes that are able to play on their own and protect the one carry, right? So that you see Fight to Moon, they instantly ban out the Alchemist. They don't want any of these ultra hardcore hard carries that can beat even Phantom Lancer. Another hero that comes to my mind right away is Meepo. He could win the game for them. Something like a Spectre perhaps as well. Not the greatest versus Phantom Lancer though. Well, that could be a problem.
But a Meepo is, I mean, they don't really have the supports to handle a Meepo. I guess Beastmaster's kind of okay, but...
All of these heroes are... Grimstroke with Stroke of Fate is kinda good, but all of them are fairly bad versus Meepo. You don't have anything. The problem is Hellraisers didn't have a player that plays Meepo. As much as I know, they won't pick it. You just need someone that can micro it level, and their draft actually looks very similar to something called the NIP would do, right? They have a very similar playstyle. They put Pango on Saberlight, Chen gets that early, Pango gets the Vlads, you last pick the Meepo, and then you win the game around the 25-minute mark. They could do that, but they don't have the player, I'm fairly certain.
So they're really looking at Spectre... maybe a Morphling? I don't like Morphling into PL that much.
You could... Is Ember is first ban, of course he is. Why am I even looking at that? Of course he's banned out. What else could they go for?
Because I think Spectre is... I think Spectre struggles too much against Bane, Beastmaster, Phantom Lancer. I think her early game is way too hindered. And Anti-Mage doesn't play as late as he used to.
We'll see. Let's see what they go for. They go for the Monk. Alright, once again. Actually, yeah, he's fairly fine, I guess, versus early on in the game. Can struggle versus the Beastmaster, but have Chen to deal with that. This Oracle's game can be really good here. Has two heroes that he needs. It's the Lash and the Monkey King constantly. If he plays well, he can also play versus the Roar, versus the Grip. It's such a solid Oracle game, but he needs... If he's on point, I think Lash and Monkey can just steamroll over Fight to Moon. You called it earlier as well. Said that Hellraisers are most likely going to be early game or pushing oriented, while Fight to Moon will be that late game. Phantom Lancer.
So I guess Flight of Moon needs a mid laner that can hold everybody off.
Be a Pug Knight as well for them. Lina is also... this is your to-go Iceberg hero. That's why they picked it. Lina is pretty strong versus Lash. And I believe Flight to Moon is one of those rare teams that I have actually seen win with Lina. This hero I don't like. I just don't feel like Lina is a hero that...
She doesn't fit anywhere, right? Like if you play her position 4, she can be really nice with the stun spam in lane, but her mana requirements and item requirements make her a little greedy for a 4 position. Yeah, but then when you put her mid, she can't really do as much as some of the other mids, so she feels hard to fit in somewhere.
Exactly, she just doesn't do as much, or she does one thing excellently, and that's bursting a target down, but she's way too squishy afterward. You go in a fight and you don't have a way of getting out, you're pretty much dead. That's the problem. Early on in the laning stage, she very strong versus Lash. She should win that lane. Iceberg should do quite fine for himself. The problem comes when Roger starts rotating with his creeps, together with Phonic as well. Later on in the game, we'll see. Iceberg is definitely a master of the heroes, so if anyone can make it work, if anyone can make her work, it should be him.
Well, we'll have to see if he can. I mean, I guess with holding off creeps and the spam, maybe that's enough to stop pushing. Maybe.
I feel better.
That's what you're playing around, right? You're constantly out pushing and trying to burst down a target or two.
Okay, so this game, I have turned down all of the audio so much, but I still feel like it's too loud. So just in case, we're gonna turn it down even more, and then I'll wait for people to yell at me.
Someone is always
now they can't
gonna
hear in the in-game. It's, you know, I'd rather they be able to hear the cast and the game be a little bit quiet. So
someone is always going to complain. It's always going to happen, no matter what.
eventually I'll figure out the sweet spot of sound settings. Though.
Never.
You know, we'll get there one day.
It's never gonna happen. If you let them have the upper hand, if you indulge too much, they will just continuously ask for something, and it's never gonna be right.
Okay, so Roger has 8 salves queued up.
Yeah, that's the normal Chan build that you see. This is trolling.
I was like, did he misclick? Is this just because he thinks it looks pretty?
He's just trolling.
I mean, it does look pretty. Oh, well, Nyx is getting some decent harass here. Roger doing the body block onto General.
He might die here. Roger might be dead. Stroke of Fate is here.
Roger will fall.
They did not expect the level 1 Orb of Venom on Beastmaster. That's pretty much what happened. He started with Orb of Venom, and Stroke of Fate also slows, so they get these 2 easy, well, 1 kill, and they force the monkey to a lot of region.
And up top, Funnick and Maposhka are trying to harass Always Wanna Fly, but of course Brain Sap making that challenging early on.
Puppy pretty much resurrected Bane. Everyone pretty much started playing Bane after Puppy, and that's it. But not everyone plays it as well. And
Yeah,
we'll see Always Wanna Fly
in some trouble.
He's had that Fairy Fire, and he has a Brain Sap, so he was never really going to die there, but the thing is, the way Puppy plays it is, he knows when to draft it as well. He drafts it with a hero on the safe lane that needs a lot of experience. Your Embers, right? These kind of heroes. And then he plays away from the lane. He forces the support to fight him far away from the lane while Ember gets solo experience. Most Banes don't copy that. They just play the lane the same way Banes would play it before, but if you play that hero this way, he's just not as strong. They miss the point of the whole pick, I think.
So, pro tip about something I have observed about some of Puppy's resurrection picks over watching Secret for the past few years. If you head to Dota Buff and look at win rate by MMR and find a hero with a high win rate but a low pick percentage, especially where the win rate increases quite a bit with MMR, so that means it's a little more of a skill play. Those are the heroes that he tends to pull out that people are surprised by, because they're not being picked very often. We lost Chen on the bottom lane. They're not being picked very often, but there's something about them that's kind of imbalanced, and when you have hundreds of thousands of pub games kind of doing that data searching for you, I honestly think that's where they come from, because that trend has happened every single year.
Yeah, I don't necessarily... You're definitely right, but I don't necessarily think that he goes on to Dota Buff and searches
Well,
them.
that could be, maybe he sees the same thing, but if you're curious, like if you go to Dota Buff and look at sometimes Secret's weird picks, like when no one was picking a Abaddon way back when, and Secret started pulling it out on the offlane, it was the same thing. It had like a 1 or 2% pick rate, but a 58 or 59% win rate. So it can be a really good way to see what heroes are going to come out in pro meta soon.
Like when you play these high MMR pubs, right? You actually match up against these players that have 1 or 2 heroes, and you see that why are you spamming an Abaddon when no one is picking it, and then you lose versus that guy a couple of times. Even if you're someone like Puppy, you start thinking, okay, there's something to this. I need to think about picking?
And I think Bane is one of those heroes. I think he has a really high Dota buff win rate right now. That's where I pick my heroes from, so that's how I know that. I decide who to spam based on what people aren't picking but are winning with. And Bane might die. No Fairy Fire on him this time. No Brain Sap for another 6 seconds, so... Funnick will take the last hit. Hey, I mean, you said he's not playing it the puppy way, so just because Bane is good doesn't mean everybody can be good with Bane.
That's true. Pepe hands. Nothing works for us, doesn't matter. You're not puppy, you're gonna lose. That's it, that's life. What's happened on mid lane, by the way? We haven't mentioned it so far. Lina, yeah, slightly ahead. Needed. Yes. It comes to net worth, yeah, not really that far ahead on net worth. I guess he had to parry up salves or something.
It looks like Kasani's been winning the Rune Wars, so Lina's...
He's gonna have a double bounty here. They didn't pick up the first bounty, so he's gonna pick that up, refill the bottle, then take the 5-minute one.
Will he?
Or just go away. Or just go away,
I thought maybe he would stack? Yeah, there we go.
I guess he doesn't want to miss the lane, right? You stack, you go for outpush the mid lane, then you go back for the bounty. Oh, let it get denied. That can happen too.
That's a cheeky little play there from Roger. So he seems a little more comfortable on the Chen than he did on the Elder Titan. And Bane dies again, top. So that's, I believe both kills for HR have been onto the Bane.
Yep. Roger is comfortable on both of those heroes, like 100%. He's a player that played a lot of Chen and a lot of Elder Titan. What hero he's less rusty with is probably Chen. It's probably Chen, yeah.
Nothing too exciting happening top lane. Support's just trading back and forth. Now Aloha has moved through middle. Not quite sure what he's looking to do. Ooh, now they're diving. And down goes the Oracle. Will they manage to turn it here? V2 pops the Fairy Fire. He has the Phantom's Rush to run away, but Always Wanna Fly might be the casualty again. Funnick has a decent amount of mana. And he had one more Swashbuckle to finish the job. V2 running back in, and Funnick choosing to TP out. He has no mana. He does not want to stay in this lane. And Aloha Dance came top as well.
If there's anything that this game showed me, it's the strength of Orb of Venom once again on the off lane. I've been spamming a lot of off, but I've been doing the same builds pretty much without Venom. No matter if you're able to kill someone or not, Venom is way too strong on a melee offlaner, it looks like. The slow is sick.
And when you have the right support there, obviously to add more in.
It's been a roller coaster for Orb of Venom. This has been my favorite item like 4 or 5 years ago. For 10 years, pretty much Orb of Venom, I would buy it on any position 4. I just loved it. Even if I get no region, I would get Venom, but it's been nerfed to the ground and now resurrected a little bit by Ice Frog. Less damage, but more slow, and that's what we really care about.
Yeah, because then you get more hits in, which is more damage. It's like why Drow a lot of times gets Ice Arrows first.
Exactly, yeah. It's pretty much same scenario.
Which, take note, Drow gets Ice Arrows first. People, let's remember that.
Nah, they're still gonna go for the arrows. Got to farm the creeps level 1. It deals damage. How can you argue with that?
Exactly.
If it deals damage, you have to pick it. Who cares about slows?
So Nyx has been fully abandoned here in this bottom lane. Flatamoon does not want to deal with him. He is getting free farm, no contest, sitting at top of the net worth. He's got his Orb of Venom and his phase boots. He is happy if anybody comes to try and kill him.
Even though Roger fed the first blood, the reason for this bottom lane going so well is the Chen pick. They just couldn't deal with him taking the boars. talked about slow, right? You have Chen taking the boars, and then you have Orb of Venom on Monkey King and the Jingle stacks, and you're just that. They realized that very early on, this lane isn't really laneable for them, so they abandoned it.
I guess the Grimstroke can sit there and get a little bit of farm and levels, but Shen's actually rotating behind. He's got some nice creeps here. No troll for the net, but I don't think that matters. They will TP in Iceberg to try and make something happen. Bane coming as well. Roger getting slowed by the stroke.
They don't know if he's invis or not.
So this should be enough, and the ultimate dropped as well. So they get several creeps from Chen. Get a kill here for Iceberg. Nice use of that invis to kind of creep up.
That's actually really good for Flight to Moon. Even if they didn't rotate and Grimstroke dies, I think you're fine with that. But because Grimstroke is getting all the gold and the space, he now has Arcane Rune. But with Lina rotating in, with her killing off the Chen creeps and forcing them back, that's insanely good. Especially because while that was happening, Beastmaster is on the mid lane and attacking it from Lashrak push, right? So all this aggression that comes from HR pretty much gets counterplayed easily by Flight to Moon. Really good plays on the map from them.
Doesn't look like we're gonna have any big bounty rune fights. Everybody kind of just staking out their own side of the map. We'll see more kills there, but levels on supports. Bane is at 5, Grimstroke 5.5, and he's gotten the tome. Oracle is at 5.5, and Chen is almost level 6 and has the tome queued up. So slight level advantage for HR. I think that's just because Chen gets so much from the jungle.
Yeah, he gets a lot from the jungle, and also because of that, the core player isn't sharing experience as well, right? So kinda goes in their favor. Mechanism also completed by Chen, so Roger is having a blast right now.
Hellraisers take the first tower, so they are beginning their onslaught of pushing.
They should go for the tier 1 on the mid lane. You can see where Chen is. That's probably where the pushes are going to happen. However, there is a rotation on the bottom lane.
They might be able to maybe trade towers, kills. We'll have to see if it forces them to rotate. They're looking for Funnick and the push get in the trees. Funnick ultimate comes out, the leash holding in place, the roar used as well. Will Fearless or no? Oracle will fall here. Aloha Dance throwing out the slow onto Funnick. Now there's a TP here coming from left, but it does get canceled. Nyx finishing off the Grimstroke, TP out successful from the Beastmaster. So that ended up being a 1-for-1, pretty much even on both sides.
But it isn't really even, right? Because this is what Flight to Moon wants to be doing. They want to delay the game. They understand that they can't defend, so they attack somewhere where Hellraisers aren't. They force some rotations from HR, and HR, instead of taking the tier 1 on the mid lane, they're forced to defend bottom lane and trade 1-for-1, right? So they're not happy with this. If you're HR, you're the ones that actually want to be pushing and taking kills. Flash is dead.
Fight in middle. I mean, he gets healed up a little bit there, but not enough to hold out against 2 ultimates. They are turning things onto the Bane. Bane will fall in trade for that Lesh. Roger low as well. Iceberg finishing him off with a little bit of fire. So 2 dead on the side of Hellraisers. They get the tower. They lose a couple heroes for that.
I think Flight to Moon, in that last game, they were playing Go, right? They just had a couple of very bad calls. And a couple of honestly interesting black holes and stuff, but in this game it looks way more solid. The way they're rotating across the map is much faster. Maybe it's the nature of the heroes as well, but they're reacting to not only the plays from Hellraisers, but their general strategy really well.
They definitely seem more warmed up this game.
This Lina is always in the right place. With the travels now completed, is able to pretty much be wherever General is and help out with these team fights.
And he's certainly able to farm very quickly. It's not too far off from having the Yules as well. So just sitting a little bit behind Monkey King on net worth.
That last fight, you could really see Oracle struggling. Poshka in that last game, he had
Middle tower is under
great ultis. Great
HR
ultis, but
have a nice setup here bottom. The Chen is smoked, it's been revealed. They're trying to chase down Fly to Moon.
They have Yule.
Yule will lose his courier. Yeah, so Yule's up onto Always Wanna Fly. Stun here. He tanks the gank. Wow, okay, he's gonna tank the gank for a while. He'll die eventually, but certainly takes the time to make sure the PL has the nice, safe, secure teleport away.
One good thing for Hellraisers is not only did they kill the support, they will be able to transition into a tier 1 push on the bottom lane. So this is alright. You can see Aloha Dance already in position to mess with them. Stroke, he definitely has to do this. That's your job. If you're a Grimstroke at this point, you just spam out these waves constantly.
They don't lose, well, they lose about half the damage on this tower there. So, an okay first push from Hellraisers. Monkey King getting called down to the bottom lane by Chen. So they will have a full force here. They're very committed to taking this lane. It's like we said in the draft, Hellraisers, I think they just want to end the game. And they catch Always Wanna Fly. Once again, he'll brain sap to heal. And the Monkey King ultimate is out. He is held a little bit by this Grimstroke. Oh, but he still takes down the Bane. Iceberg running, chasing forward. Well, trying to run away, really, being chased. And he's going to fall in the trees. So 2 dead on the side of Fly to Moon. The HR rotation seemed to work out for them.
This whole fight was literally won by Oracle. Like, this whole fight is basically Miposhka using his ulti on the Lash before he dies. And afterwards you actually have enough damage for counterplay and get a couple of kills. General will die as well. By the way, those salves that we talked about, Chen is carrying some of them too, even right now, because when Oracle pops his ulti, you can pop a salve on the target that's ultied, and it can't be interrupted. So that heal will count when the ulti ends.
So when Monkey King and Lesh got leashed together by Grimstroke.
Yep.
And Lesh stood pretty much as far away as he could outside of the Monkey King ultimate and didn't really run with Monkey. Was that... And how much are they coordinating that? Because I would have expected Lesh to move a little closer and give Monkey more freedom there.
He's just freaking out. He knows he's going to eat a Laguna to his face, so he's running to Miposhka. He's pinging probably on him, screaming. And he's also pretty scary. He's a boxer. He was a boxer or something. So Miposhka is like, please don't hit me. I'll ulti you. Just play. You know, it's definitely not super coordinated. I agree with you. He could have went forward and then just expected the heals from Oracle to come anyway, but it was a little bit of a panic move.
That's fair. Monkey still did get his kill. I think he killed Bane inside of his ultimate, so... Always want to fly down again. And a Roche here from HR. With 10 summons. There's a Beastmaster Hawk, so they saw it. That is a nice side thing that when the Edict comes out, I guess it'll kill the Invis Hawk. Did not think about, but that's a fun little benefit.
They're smoked up, they want to fight this. But the Monkey King ulti and they're completely fine. They're going to roll as well. No?
I heard him start it, but I guess he decided to cancel when Fly to Moon didn't really engage.
I think if you're Fly to Moon, you just have to wait for the PL to come online. He has his Defu now, but this is weird though. The build that he's going for is not something that I've come to expect from a PL that plays versus Lash. If you're playing versus Lash, you're going for Hood early on. That's how pretty much every single PL player does it. You go for a Hood and then Diffusal without this Yasha maybe. I'm not sure, but Hood is your standard 2-go item versus Lash because it mitigates his damage heavily.
What about this Sanj? Is that, I guess, the status resist is nice and you're a little bit tankier, but it still feels like Hood would mitigate a lot more damage.
Yeah, S and Y with Diffusal, this is something a little bit out there. Now, VTune is was one of those hero spammers when he came into the scene, right? So maybe PL isn't a hero that he played as much, but if he's comfortable with the build and if he thinks it's right, you can't really question a player because he plays all the time the same heroes and knows what's best. We'll see if it works out or not.
Well, there's another point in favor of him getting a hood because Monkey King has finished his Radiance, or is about to finish his Radiance.
Damn, it's a fairly quick one with the Echo Saber too.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that he's going for Radiance. Now I see it with the Relic and it's queued up.
I wondered if he would during the draft to deal with PL, right? Because your options are Radiance, Maelstrom, or Battle Fury if you want to cut through illusions as a monkey. And I think Radiance is the most meta of those options.
You could see that in the last game he was really itemizing versus the heroes and itemizing for the game as well. In the last game he was queuing up that Abyssal versus the Enigma because they had no ways of dealing with the BKB Blink. In this game he's queuing up the Radiance. I don't necessarily think it's the best item in this game. I think Radiance is fine, it boosts up your farm as well. It's obviously good versus PL's illusions, but you kind of have the Lash to deal with him, together with the Pango. A little bit of an overkill, but we'll see.
And they really, they feel like they have a lead because they're taking towers, but because they're 5-manning so much, they're not really getting a big gold lead here. So they might feel a little more ahead than what they actually are.
Just 1k, right?
Yeah.
2k right now, nothing really. At this point, considering how many towers they have and everything, it's not a big lead. The thing is, how much do they do with this gold? And I think they do way more than Fly2Moon, at least right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at this PL. Did he? Okay, he switched up. He's not going for SNY. No, he is.
Although I think he bought the Sanj. Yeah.
He bought it. Yeah. I will see. This is his go time. The only question is this enough? Because for me, it doesn't look that great.
It's about just spending his gold, right? Gold advantage in farm doesn't matter if you're sitting on it. So maybe he wanted something that could fight right now, immediately.
Yep. That we'll see. Can they fight? There's a push.
Okay, and goes to dodge. He has the Oracle save on to this Monkey King right now. Iceberg caught. I think Iceberg's gonna just fall here. He will, so they lose him. He has the buyback now. The Grimstroke leash is out, and there's a double Bane ultimate here onto the Pango and the Monkey, but it gets Yules and canceled, and now the Monkey King ult can come out, forcing these supports back. Aloha Dance and always want to fight, taking a lot of damage. Iceberg has bought back, and that tower has fallen. Now Edict on cooldown for a bit longer, and always want to fly will fall, but he's already used his grip, so he doesn't have as much to contribute. Melee is down, and HR kind of backs off. Are they actually going to? And there is that Radiance here on Nick, so he had that for this fight. They're gonna go for more. They're rotating top. They want to take out a second tower. This Edict off cooldown and used again to mail the tower.
I mean, they still have the Aegis. They know Grip isn't there. They know Soulbind isn't there. Roar as well. All the big spells from Fly2Moon have been spent. You're not gonna go away unless they somehow manage to kill off Monkey. Yeah, that's GG.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked kinda fine for Fly2Moon, but really, when you look at the itemization as well, I'm gonna blame the PL a little bit. If you itemize like this, you pretty much need 2 more items to fight, not even 1. After these 2, you need more, because there's literally one way you deal with the Lash. You go Hood Diffusal, you pop your illusions, you send those illusions at him, so they gnaw away his mana, and then he feels